We've got a whole lot of cloud cover across central Oregon. Our next system is rolling into the Pacific Northwest, and this is the one that brings heavy mountain snow and some light totals to some of our lower elevations. Hey everyone, Darrell here from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. We're about to do a deep dive into your most reliable forecast because this system that's rolling into the region is the one that we've been teasing for a couple of days. Really, I've been talking about it since last week at the tail end of the 7-day planner, and it's actually going to bring us some heavy mountain snow. So the headline of this entire system is mostly going to be a Cascades event, but we are looking at some changes in our lower elevations. Let's hit those cameras. This is what we're looking at across the high desert. Whole lot of cloud cover, some precipitation falling, and even up at Hoodoo at the top of Ed, you can see some snow accumulating on the ground. Now let's talk logistics. We are looking at some moderate to higher impacts from this storm, but mostly all in the Cascades. In fact, through this St. Ann Pass, moderate impacts. Through the government camp area, we're looking at minor to moderate impacts. Through Willamette Pass, a moderate to maybe some major impacts, and same light to or minor to moderate impacts through Diamond Lake Junction. So ultimately, we are looking at this heavy mountain snow, and going forward in our lower elevations, limited impacts through most of Central Oregon. Now, let's talk some numbers. Just starting off with what they're looking at in the Cascades. Here is Wednesday's powder prognosis, and I know that this is normally a graphic that I'll show during ski season. It's not anymore, but we are looking at more snow through the Cascades, so this really breaks down what some of the forecast models are pointing out, and I can, tweak it a little bit. Well, we're looking at 4 to 8 inches overnight at Bachelor, 8 to 12 inches overnight at Hoodoo, and on top of that, some snow showers continuing through the day tomorrow. In fact, this snow shower activity stays with us into Thursday. That's right. By Thursday, we're still looking at some lingering flurries across the high desert. Now, through most of Central Oregon, we barely have damp roads. In the mountains, it's just getting started. Rain and snow showers. You can see the snow on the side of the road at St. Ann Pass. You can see it a little bit at Century Drive on the way to Bachelor, but that's about it. Now, in our lower elevations, we do not have shadows on the ground. We have a couple damp roads, and for the most part, look, it's just been gusty today. And we still have this winter storm warning. This winter storm warning went into effect at the top of the hour, at 5 o'clock p.m., and it continues until 5 a.m. Thursday. And it's through the Cascades of Central and the Cascades of North Oregon as well. To South Oregon, we do have Cascades of Southern Oregon. We do have a winter weather advisory, and that winter weather advisory is for pretty much the same time frame, 11 p.m. Tuesday to 5 a.m. Thursday. Above 4,000 feet, they're looking at 4 to 12 inches. Now, through the Cascades of Central Oregon, we have this series of winter storm warnings with heavy mountain snow expected. For our side of the Cascades, the east slopes of the Cascades, above 4,000 feet is 6 to 12 inches. Now, I do want to be specific with this because I'm showing you the numbers from the bulletin from the National Weather Service. In reality, I think that the above category should be above 4,300 feet, pretty much taking the rest of Central Oregon out of the equation for 6 to 12 inches. I do not think we're looking at that much in our lower elevations. The east slopes of the Cascades and into the mountains, absolutely. And even the crest of the Cascades, it says 12 to 20 inches. It was updated 12 to 22 inches. So really still 1 to 2 feet on the west slopes through the crest of the Cascades. I think that one's right on target. I just don't think, and the 6 to 12 inches isn't a bad forecast. It's just I think the above 4,000 feet should be a little bit higher to take the rest of Central Oregon out of that area, out of that forecast. But ultimately, we are looking at already some rain and mountain snow rolling into the high desert. This is just the beginning of this active weather pattern. Winds have been gusty today. We're going to talk about some of those gusts here in the next couple of minutes. But when we look at the bigger picture, what you're looking at now here is you have radar on this map. There's actually 2 different radars blended together, 2 different networks, if you will. And there's also infrared satellite imagery blended with visible satellite imagery. And that's important because during the day, visible's great, but once the sun starts to set, you can't really see it anymore, so you have to transition to infrared. And basically, it's cloudy, and some showers are rolling through. Now, winds have also been breezy, but as we go forward through the rest of tonight, more mountain snow is expected. In the lower elevations, a wintry mix, so a few light totals not out of the question. But then by 7 a.m., that actual cold front will be pushing through the high desert. By noon, we're looking at in and out clouds, late morning going through the early afternoon. By 5 p.m. tomorrow, that's when we're actually looking at these scattered snow showers rolling through. This is the tail end of this entire system. It lasts through the overnight hours. Notice temperatures don't go very far at all. And just know that winds are still going to be gusty. Now, we're switching gears to just infrared satellite imagery, which, pardon me, these are geosynchronous orbit satellites. So they're way out over the Earth looking down, and they infrared looks at the color of the cloud top. There is a little glitch at the very end of this one, so it's just waiting on some additional data to come in. Now, what we typically look at with infrared satellite imagery is the color of the top of the cloud. And when it starts to get really high in the atmosphere, that's when you'll start to see the brighter colors, those reds, those oranges. And that just shows that there is organization with this system as it rolls in. But also what we have here is the isobars, the equal or constant lines of pressure. When those get tightly stacked up next to each other, that's where we have stronger winds, and that's what we're seeing. Also, that glitch at the end of it is also on the water vapor imagery, but ultimately there is a deep plume of moisture coming right through the Pacific Northwest, and it's mostly coming from out over the Pacific Ocean, close to where that high pressure is. Now, when we look at the bigger picture, there are two high pressures, one over the Gulf of Alaska, North Pacific Ocean, and one over the East Pacific Ocean off the California coastline. By the time we get to the end of the 7-day planner, we're going to be under some of this high pressure. So here is your forecast model. And I am going to take this little by little. I'm going to be scrubbing back and forth between it. So if you see the clock act weird, just know that that's what's happening. Here's what we're looking at. We've already had these rain and snow showers starting to come into the crest of the Cascades and down the east slopes. Now here through the next several hours, we're still looking at some showers. But then through the overnight hours, it becomes a little bit of a wintry mix. But notice the mountains are absorbing most of the moisture with the system. It's just going to be stray showers rolling into the high desert until we get to tomorrow morning, around and after sunrise. So fast forward to 5 a.m. And we're starting to see that cold front roll in. Remember, sunrise is at 6:24 a.m. And during the 6 o'clock hour, that cold front is coming into central Oregon. After sunrise, we see a transition from rain to snow showers. All of that right there is a cold front. Once a cold front passes through, winds get gusty, and we see a transition from rain showers to snow showers. So we are getting a little bit of wraparound moisture. More snow showers are going to be pushing through the high desert, but let me go back and forth over that. Notice, after the in and out cover, we're looking at periods of clearing between snow showers. Now, it's still going to be gusty for most of us. We're still looking at some light totals, especially Wednesday night going into Thursday. But late Thursday, we're back to more sunshine. Still breezy, but more sunshine and chilly. So the chilly days are going to be Wednesday and Thursday. And after the initial cold front rolls through Wednesday, some of us aren't going to see much in the way of snow after that, but it's not going to be for everybody. This is where we're actually looking at that potential for some light totals. And so when it just to look at a few current conditions when it comes to relative humidity, those percentages are ranging from the moderate to high. And so we're not looking at too much more evaporation as rain falls across the high desert, but also know that current temperatures are way above freezing. And so even if you get snow showers, it's not really going to stick. It's going to melt as it hits the surface. Now, these temperatures are actually running between 1 degree warmer and 7 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago. Now, I want to look at a different one. This is a forecast model, and it shows road conditions. So by 7 p.m., where we've been getting showers across the high desert, mostly looking at wet roads. Even in the Cascades, a little bit of snow on the road at San Ian Pass, moving up to Government Camp. Not too bad. Maybe some slush on the road, and getting down to Willamette Pass and Diamond Lake Junction, not much in the way of change. So now let's move forward, because through the overnight hours, we're mostly looking at rain showers. Some snow showers are expected, just not much actually sticking. And then after midnight, that continues. Now by 7 a.m., that's when we're actually looking at heavy snow on the road through the Cascade passes. Some slick roads across central Oregon, but notice that it's not really going to be until after that, and then getting into Wednesday night, that we start to see what we need for some snow to stick to the surface here in central Oregon. So when it comes to temperatures, it's getting colder tonight. Tomorrow it stays chilly. Winds are going to be gusty at times. Now, going forward, we're going to start to see another shift in the weather pattern. Right now, this is a different forecast model, and this is uses what we call geopotential heights. Okay? And a geopotential heights pretty much just shows the thickness of the atmosphere. Helps us really hone in on where that low pressure is, where the high pressure is, and what's happening between the two. And with this specific forecast model, it's showing that that cold front is going to be pushing through tomorrow. Highs in the 40s with a few 50s. By Thursday, we see a shift in our weather pattern again. So it's going to be chilly Wednesday, chilly Thursday. But on the backside of that low, we start to clear out. So some sun shining through the clouds during the midday hours and more sunshine. It's through the rest of the afternoon now. It's still going to be breezy. It's still going to be chilly. It's not until Friday that that next ridge of high pressure builds into the region. That high is a one that's going to bring with it that warmer air that's off the California coastline right into the Pacific Northwest. So huge roller coaster temperatures during the next couple of days, heavy mountain snow expected, and much needed precipitation across central Oregon. So we're checking all the boxes here through this event, except for heat. We're not really checking that box. We are getting heavy mountain snow. We don't even have to break out the snow shovels across central Oregon. Might need the snow brush by Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. But for the most part, it is not going to be that bad of a system. Snow showers are expected. Some totals are going to be possible, but it's going to be light totals. Now, by Friday, the warming trend begins. By Saturday, the warming trend peaks. Wetter conditions are going to linger into Thursday just a little bit. And then Friday, we're really drying. Or Thursday afternoon, really, we're drying out. Now, your forecast model breaks down exactly how this is going to happen. That snow already started in the mountains, continues by 11 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, you'll be really wanting to check out Trip Check. Look before you leave if you're traveling through the passes, because we are looking at slick mountain roads, slick passes. By Wednesday morning, the cold front pushes through. By Wednesday afternoon, we have some snow showers. They're going to be very hit and miss. Periods of clearing expected. Now, this is where the high-resolution forecast model ran out. By Thursday afternoon, we're back to more sunshine. By Friday, we have plenty of sunshine and the warming trend begins. Then it continues and peaks Saturday, and we turn our attention to that next system by the end of our weekend. So I'm going to fast forward. This is the GFS. It's a long-range forecast model. It's pretty much showing the same thing all the way through Friday and Saturday. Just Friday and Saturday, some light clouds, a warming trend. Then by Sunday, that next system just continues to spin offshore. Now, more clouds are expected, but we're not looking at much in the way of precipitation, either Sunday or Monday. So this time yesterday, we actually had a chance of showers Sunday and Monday. Now we're pushing that back a little bit more, and it's not really going to be until Tuesday that we start to see some convection from that system that's way offshore. By this time, the forecast models are split. We're either going to peak in the mid to upper 60s by the time we get to Sunday, and then more clouds are going to chip away at that temperature during the next couple of days. Some of the forecast model, the long-range model guidance, is showing that we continue to warm up through the 60s and into the 70s by Monday and Tuesday. At this point, I think we're going to be seeing those temperatures start to come back down. But, by tomorrow, we could change that in the forecast. It's just one of those things that the forecast models are completely split. And if that system stays a little further offshore, oh yeah, we're warming up. But if it moves a little further onshore, bringing some of those showers into play, then we're going to be cooling back down. So it's something I'll continue to track with you through the rest of this week and even this weekend. Now, when it comes to future precipitation, we are looking at very light totals in our lower elevations. And this is why I was talking about with that when I was showing the winter storm warning, when I was telling you about the discrepancy of the height of where that winter storm warning should be. I really don't think it should be below 4,500 feet because of how, most of that snow is just in the mountains. In our lower elevations, including Lapine, Three Rivers, Sun River, Deschutes River Woods, Sisters, going all the way to even Camp Sherman, we're looking at a trace to maybe 2 inches. Some of us aren't even going to notice much in the way of accumulations, just a few slick roads, pardon me. Now, most of this snow stays in the mountains, and with that, we're looking at 12 to 24 inches. Most of that at the crest and on the other side of the mountains. Even at Government Camp, we're still looking at 12 to 18 inches. And coming down to Willamette Pass, I'd say 12 plus inches. Diamond Lake Junction, 12 plus inches, and then the event's over. So really, this is going to be a Cascades event when it comes to snow accumulation. And one more forecast model, this is through the same time frame, and actually goes quite a bit further. But the only system that's really bringing snow is the one that started already and continues through Thursday. And this forecast model is showing 12 plus inches, so 12 to 18 inches through the Cascades. I really think this is more along the lines of what we're going to see. Not a lot happening across Central Oregon, 12 plus inches through the Cascades. Now, there is a chance we could get 1 to 2 feet in the mountains. I just think those forecast models are really overdoing it. Now, let's talk winds. It's gusty this evening. We're not done with the winds yet. Through tonight, it stays breezy across the high desert. So gusts at the moment are ranging between 16 and 26 miles per hour, mostly out of the west. Just a few minutes ago during the 5 o'clock show, there were some that were 35 miles per hour. Actual wind speeds are 15 to 25 miles per hour. And here through the overnight hours, it stays breezy. By tomorrow, it gets gusty. Now, by Wednesday night, tapering winds are expected. And then we're back down to just breezy through Thursday. We're talking winds peaking at 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts actually a little bit further to maybe 30 miles per hour. So for tonight, expect temperatures to bottom out in the 30s. A few 40s, a couple 20s possible. Some of us get down to near freezing. Those are the locations that could actually expect slick roads early tomorrow morning. By tomorrow, we're topping out, and look, this is just going to be a chilly day. We're topping out in the 40s, a few 50s. I wouldn't even be surprised if there were a couple 30s on the map for tomorrow, for highs. And so really, this active weather pattern comes with just one cold front. But it's going to be a system that lingers over the Pacific Northwest through Thursday. The actual front rolls through Wednesday morning. Afternoon snow showers are expected. Winds are just going to be gusty. We have the winter storm warning until Thursday 5 a.m. Thursday, so Thursday morning, and then we get clearing. Now, some snow showers are expected at our lower elevations, but really, like I was pointing out, it's mostly a mountain system. By Friday, we get to warming. By Saturday and Sunday, we're in the 60s. Now, Monday and Tuesday is where the next shift in our weather pattern is, when it is, not where it is. And it could go one of two ways. If that low stays further offshore, we're going to be warming up Monday and Tuesday. If it builds a little further inland, we're going to be cooling down. More showers are expected, and instead of 65 on Monday, we're looking at either side of 60 degrees, and by Tuesday, that's when we'll be looking at topping out in the 50s. But we're still a little too far out from that, and I just need to see a little bit more forecast model guidance. So that is the only question mark on the 7-day planner, is what happens after this weekend. So between now and then, we are looking at getting a lot warmer, but first we have this winter system rolling through. An active weather pattern is on the way. It's already started. Heavy mountain snow is expected with a midweek cold snap, and winds remain gusty. As of right now, some rain showers are pushing through. These are mostly sprinkles. Now, we are getting a little bit of mountain snow already. And again, this is just the beginning of our active weather pattern. So join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. Our next show is at 6 o'clock on ABC and CBS. And then again at 7 o'clock on CBS. And then at 11 o'clock on ABC and CBS. Join us. We'll see you then. Y'all have a good one.